A potential terrorist threat averted. Two Middle Eastern refugees, one from California, the other from Texas, appeared in federal court today for supporting Islamic militant groups.
The cases are not connected, but as WGXA's national correspondent Jeff Barn explains, these arrests come among concerns about President Obama's plan to resettle Syrian refugees in the U.S.
23-year-old Aus Mohammed Yunus Al-Jayab of Sacramento faces charges of making false statements involving global terrorism. 24-year-old Omar Faraj Saeed Al-Harden of Houston, charged with attempting to provide material support to ISIS. Both men came from Iraq, and these arrests come as concerns have been recently raised regarding the U.S. refugee screening process, as President Barack Obama plans to allow 10,000 Syrian refugees on U.S. soil by October the 1st. Late last year, the House passed a measure to increase oversight of the refugee screening process. The chair of the Homeland Security Committee stressed Friday that the Senate needs to act now to pass his House measure to strengthen the vetting process.
We have two Iraqis that came through the refugee program. One actually traveled to Syria to train and come back as a foreign fighter. If this is not enough evidence as to why we need this legislation passed, then I don't know what more is necessary.
Other lawmakers we talked to on the Hill credit the law enforcement community for their diligence in these arrests.
Am I concerned about terrorists coming in? Absolutely. Do I think that we need to have them in a legitimate system so they can monitor their activities? Yes. And they were monitored, and they were caught.
If there are those who are threatening our country, they should be arrested. Mindful that most of the people who've done harm to our country have been Americans and American grown.
Federal immigration officials say there are nearly 2,300 Syrian refugees already here on U.S. soil. And the United Nations says it has referred nearly 23,000 Syrian refugees for resettlement to the United States later this year. I'm Jeff Barn reporting from Washington.
If convicted, Al-Jayab faces up to 8 years in prison. Harden faces up to 20 years there. Both are looking at a maximum fine of $250 or $250,000 each.
That's right, and happening now, lawmakers react to the arrest of these two refugees. We're hearing now from Georgia Representatives Buddy Carter and Barry Loudermilk. Both are members of the House Homeland Security Committee and spoke earlier today at a press conference.
Terrorist groups have made it clear that they're going to act on the generosity of our country to try to intrude into us.
We've entered into a new era of war on terror. And unless we act quickly and decisively, we are going to be reaping a very, very difficult situation against our nation.
President Barack Obama plans